Ali, I'm one of the physios from treatmyachilles.com, and today I'll be talking about isotonic exercises as part of our exercise series. In our exercise series we'll be talking about what types of exercises are there for Achilles tendinopathy, how do they work, and when should I use them. So for isotonic exercise, in a nutshell, if you've ever googled exercises for an Achilles tendinopathy, you've probably come up with a calf raise. A calf raise is a perfect example of an isotonic exercise. Basically it means a contraction with movement. So with a calf raise you go up, off a step or off on the floor, up onto your tiptoes, and then you drop back down again, either to level or off the bottom of the step. There are two different phases to this isotonic movement, as there are with any isotonic exercise: the concentric phase and the eccentric phase. The concentric phase means the shortening phase, so when the muscle contracts and shortens as you move. So with the calf raise, that's the way up. And then the opposite phase be the eccentric phase, and the eccentric is where the muscle lengthens as it contracts. So that's the way back down again. Now there's been lots and lots of research about which is the better option for Achilles tendinopathy, and people have looked at just the eccentric component, or they've looked at both the concentric and the eccentric component. And really the summary is that both are important, and both are important to be strengthened. If we think about our Achilles and the anatomy and why an isotonic exercise might work, if you think about your calf is made up of two different muscles. Those muscles are called your gastrocnemius and your soleus. Your gastrocnemius and your soleus are your big thick calf muscles at the back that come down and attach into your Achilles tendon to your heel. If we were to take a microscope and look inside that Achilles tendon, what you'll see is lots and lots of fibres of collagen in big bundles next to each other. So if you took a pile of uncooked spaghetti and held it in your hand with all of the spaghetti hanging in this direction, essentially lots and lots of those bundles are what your Achilles would look like. When you get an Achilles tendinopathy, some of those fibres, and not in every bundle, so not every bundle, not every fibre, lots and lots of them stay healthy, but some of those fibres become affected. So if you were to look at those fibres, they look less organised, so they're not in such linear lines, they're a bit more higgledy-piggledy. An example would be if your spaghetti was a bit saggy. So what we need to do is strengthen both the calf muscles that create the Achilles and the Achilles itself by doing some strength exercises. One of our body's natural systems is called, or one of the systems in our body that's quite natural and is happening right now, is called the collagen cycle. So as we're both sitting here, you're watching this and I'm talking, this is happening in our bodies. So our collagen cycle is where our bodies take away old cells that we don't need in our collagen anymore and replenish them with new cells. Therefore it promotes a nice healthy tendon by replacing those collagen fibres on a regular basis. We know that exercise promotes this cycle, and therefore we know that this can make your tendon more robust and is strong. As to how this works, there's quite a few theories out there, and no one particularly knows exactly why strengthening exercises helps an Achilles tendinopathy. One of the theories is that those fibres that aren't quite in those linear lines anymore revert back to being in that position. The second theory is that, particularly if you've had your Achilles pain for quite a number of months or years, it may be that instead of those bits reverting back, all of the collagen fibres in that bundle around it and all those other bundles just become more strong and more robust, and so protect those fibres, and that creates it like a brace or a splint, so it makes it feel a lot stronger. The important thing to note is when we start doing these strengthening exercises, it's all about making your calf and your Achilles more robust. So we're looking at function, and we're looking at how you're doing for quite a number of days or weeks into this program. And that is when, after that number of days or weeks, when your tendon becomes more robust, do you then start thinking, oh, my symptoms are settling now and they're calming down. So essentially, when do I use my isotonics? How do I know that they're for me? Really get a guide from a professional, because everybody has a different starting point. You'll be chatting to some people that have already had Achilles problems, and they'll be telling you, oh yeah, I can do these really easily, I'm lifting weights and doing these isotonic exercises. And other people saying, I can't do them at all because my pain is too sore. everybody comes from this from a different starting point, from health and fitness levels, from problems with other injuries in that leg, and also everybody has a different end point. Some people like to run just around the block, other people like to do ultra marathons. So it's important that you are looked at what your tendon can do now and how your symptoms respond to activity and how far we need to progress those exercises up to get you back to your goal. So please do seek a professional or have a look a little bit more at our website for any more information. Thank you very much. Bye.